Now the time has finally arrived. We're going to inspect the scriptable object code. So we're going to learn how to create our own scriptable objects. And first I want to show you one very simple scriptable object, and we're going to analyze the code and what it does. So the first thing that really jumps into your face is we have this strange attribute up there, and it says create asset menu, and it says the menu name is game preferences. And due to the nature of scriptable objects, they cannot be instantiated with a new command, and thus you need to add this attribute so you can create them from the editor. And I'll show you right away how this works in Unity if you add this attribute. I'm here in the demo project that I provided you with, and if you want to create a new instance of the scriptable object now, you can go here under Assets, Create, and then use Game Preference. Note, Game Preferences is here only located because we added it with this attribute. If I delete this attribute here, and save, and I go back here, and I go on Create, nothing shows up. So I can't create it now. And that's a problem. So 99% of the cases, you want to have this create assets menu attribute here. And note also that you need to write here the menu name. This is what shows up when you want to create it in the menu. Also, you can give it a default file name. If you write here file name equals default game prefs and save. If I then create a new game preferences, you can see here the new name of the newly created instance is default game prefs. So now let's create our first scriptable object completely from scratch. So first of all, I just create a new C# script, just like I would do with the mono behavior. And I call this item prototype. And this item prototype should be like the flyweight version of an item which contains the data. And I would then have a class item which references to this prototype of an item, okay? Right. So as this is going to be a scriptable object, I don't need the start and the update method because they wouldn't be called anyways. So I can delete it. And the second thing you need to do is we don't want to derive from mono behavior. Instead, we derive from scriptable object. And then we just add some variables like, I don't know, item name and value, and maybe, I don't know, weight. That's gonna be probably a float. Okay, we'll be happy with those three. And now we save, and we want to create it. And as soon as it's finished compiling, come on. Yeah. We won't find it here. That's because we forgot the attribute. The attribute to create it is very important. So you need to add here, create asset menu, brackets up, and then you see the parameters which you can add. You can add a file name. This would be the default file name if you created a new item prototype. Not that important in my opinion. But what is important is the menu name. And the menu name is what shows up if you want to create the asset in the drop-down menu. And the order might be interesting too, because that's the order where the menu name shows up in the create asset menu. So I'll just use menu name equals item prototype. And that's it for now. and compiling finished. If I now go to create, I can see the item prototype shows up. And if I now create it, you see it's the default name is new item prototype, and I just call it power up item 1. And I immediately can see we have the variables that we declared right here. So I could give it some name, I don't know, speed boost, and it has a value of 10 and a weight of 3. Yeah, that's it. That's one power up item I have now. I can now create a second one just in the same way. Power up item 2. And this is the damage boost, and it has a value of 500 and a weight of 1, whatever. And now I've got 2 different item prototypes.